when I ran my human design chart, I realized, oh my gosh, I've just been running my life just completely wrong. And once I really stepped back and really sort of understood how my energy works and what it is I'm supposed to be doing in my life, I actually now have a life where I work about 50% less than I ever did in my corporate career, and I earn three times more.
Welcome to Women Thrive podcast. This is where you'll get to hear incredible stories of female entrepreneurs, business owners, women from all walks of life. Myself, Raymond Jan, and my co-host Abigail will be interviewing incredible women, hearing inspiring stories of women from all around the world. I have no doubt that you will find something that will be life-changing for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us for our future episodes.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Women Thrive podcast. My name is Abigail Rebecca. I am so excited to introduce our host today because we have many things in common, but probably the biggest thing that we have in common is that we are both obsessed with a system called human design. And if you don't know what human design is, I suggest that you go and check it out immediately because it's incredible. But Charlie Garnham, who's going to be coming on as a guest today, will also be sharing some amazing resources with you to be able to take that exploration a little bit further. And I wanted to ask you, are you someone who feels like you have to show up in a certain way in order to be taken seriously, in order to be credible? Do you feel like you have to conform and fit into an image or an identity that other people expect from you? Do you wish that sometimes you could break out of those barriers and those boundaries and actually bring in all of your weirdness, all of your quirkiness, all of your embarrassing stuff and still show up as the powerful leader that you are? Well, if you are feeling like that and you want to learn how to be more natural and authentic and have more fun within your business or your career, then this is definitely a conversation for you. So I would love to invite to our podcast today Charlie Garnham. She is a human design expert, guiding women to build a business to their unique energy rather than following outdated cookie cutter strategies that don't work for most. Intuitive yet practical, Charlie uses the human design system to uncover your personal map to success in life and business through guiding them to swim with the flow of their design, not against it. Charlie, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thanks so much, Abby. That was an amazing introduction. And yeah, we've got a lot to talk about because we both met because we love human design and we're also both projectors as well. So
we are. So I just want to encourage you again to, if you don't know anything about human design or you're listening to us and you want to know what your human design is, Charlie, you have something on your website, don't you, that where they'll be able to find out about that? I just
yeah,
want
I
to
do.
cover that now.
Yeah, so if you are wanting to know what your human design is, then you can go to my website. I have a free chart generator on there. My website, charliegarnham.com, and you'll be able to just put in your birth details. It's a very simple, quick, easy form. Your birth details go in, and then the chart generator just brings up your human design chart. And I have to say that just like astrology, actually, if you've ever run your astrology chart, when you first run it, it's like, well, what is that? Like, what does that mean? But people like myself and Abby, we're here to help you interpret it so that you can really and truly get the best out of your amazing genius. And one of the things I love about human design as well is it helps you to understand where your ego mind is running the show as well.
It really does. Charlie, we've got so much to talk about because we both love human design, as I've already said. But I'd really love to find out, first of all, from you, like what got you into this? How did you discover human design? How did you get to do what you're doing now?
I actually just got invited to run my chart. This was back in 2020, and I was invited to run my chart. And once I kind of dived into it quite significantly, I realized that I'd been running my life all wrong. I was using my energy in a way that was really draining me, that was burning me out. And prior to this, I had a corporate marketing career. And as you know, as anybody knows that have got their own business, you can never do enough marketing. Marketing is continuous. It's always like, oh, well, if I've done that email, then maybe I can do another social post. Or if I've done that social post, maybe I could do something else as well. And I just burnt out in my corporate marketing career. I was pushing and pushing to prove my worth. I was constantly trying to like come up with ideas and trying to just work and work and work just to get the best results. And when I ran my human design chart, I realized, oh my gosh, I've just been running my life just completely wrong. And once I really stepped back and really sort of understood how my energy works and what it is I'm supposed to be doing in my life, I actually now have a life where I work about 50% less than I ever did in my corporate career. So about 4 to 5 hours a day, I now work, and I earn 3 times more. And I think that is actually the key as well, because I was just running myself into the ground in like a mediocre marketing position, whereas now I'm a leader. I'm the owner of my own amazing business, and yeah, I get to like play and have fun and just live my life as a human design projector.
Charlie, there's so many things that you said in that quick overview that I really resonate with. But one of the things that really struck me is that you very proudly proclaimed, I only work 4 to 5 hours a day or 5 hours a day. Obviously, you earn a lot more money than you did before. But that very phrase, I only work 5 hours a day, there is still a certain expectation in all communities, not just corporate, in entrepreneurship, especially personal development, where it's almost like a badge of honor that you work hard, that you hustle. When you hear people's stories, it's like, yeah, I really hustled and like worked hard to create. And it's like, oh, she works so hard. She's such an incredible person. And there's almost like a little bit of a stigma that if you don't work hard or you don't work many hours, then you're not seen as a powerful leader or a productive person. And you have removed any shame that potentially you might have felt before in making that statement. So can you just share with us a little bit more in terms of how human design really helps you to be able to look at your energy and how you can live your life in a more aligned way? That would be really interesting, I think, for our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I've come to sort of, step into my expertise as a human design expert, so I've been doing it for 4.5 years now. And I think being a projector and being very open, I definitely understand other people's energies quite a bit. Not only can I see very deeply into other people's souls and what's happening and what's going on and how they can transform their lives, but I can just feel all the different energies. I'm a huge empath, and projectors inherently by nature are actually highly sensitive people. And it's not a sensitivity as in like I'm going to cry if you say something not so good to me. It's a sensitivity to energy. And through that, I can see by looking at the human design chart, I can see flows of energy. I can see where people are putting their energy into something that they probably shouldn't be, because over here, there's something much more amazing and much more, in line with their genius, and they can put their energy into that. So I almost kind of like distract people away from, what they think that they should be doing. And that's the key word there is should, and then help them to move into much more of a aligned space. And for me personally, there was a lot of deconditioning around what it looks like to be someone who just go, 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 do all day long, and what it looks like for me personally and my energy from my human design body graph. And even with the sacral beings in our lives, the people who do go, 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 and they've got the energy and they might be a bit extroverted because they're like jazz hands on social media, etc. Even those amazing sacral beings, their first task with me is to slow down. Because once you slow down, you create the space for creativity, and then you can speed up because you generate your own energy to go, whoo, and then, yeah. So everybody, regardless of type, I usually help them to slow down first because that will then open the floodgates for speeding up.
Yeah, absolutely. I always like to say, like, you leave space for source. And again, like so you leave space for inspiration to flow in. And we're all kind of deconditioning, aren't we, in our own way? And I also come from a corporate background where I was working really, really hard to prove myself and hustling, and that resulted in complete burnout and a heart condition. But even now, I can very easily default into like packing too much in. And
Yeah.
then when I slow down, that's when the creativity flows in. That's when the ideas, the inspiration. And actually, for me personally, with my design, I'm more productive when I do less,
Yeah.
a lot more. For anyone who is new to human design, would you be able to explain a little bit about what the hell it is?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So the way I like to describe human design is it's a personality test, but it's for your soul. So when you do personality tests online, you have questions to answer, and you've got A, B, C, or D, which one is nearest to you. And potentially your ego mind might be it's kind of overriding your true self because it goes, oh yeah, I'm like this because I'm a business owner, or I'm like this because, I'm in corporate and my employee has said that I'm like that. And when you get the results of those personality tests, they could potentially be incorrect because your ego mind's taken over the questions, and they're not particularly accurate either. So if you think of like Myers-Briggs, there's only 16 types. And in the human design system, whilst there's only 5 types, everything below the type in the human design system is nuances and differences. And even twins can have different charts. In actual fact, I've just got a client recently. She's a twin, and I'm going to be running her twins chart just to
Oh,
see their differences. So, yeah, it's astrology on steroids as well. If there's any astrologers out there, it's amazing, but it's also astrology on steroids because it's 7 different systems that come into one. And yeah, it's the most incredibly accurate system.
I love how to describe it. I just want to hold my hand up here and say that I cheated on insights. So when I worked in corporate, we had so a lot of these these leadership profiles are very similar, aren't they? We didn't have
Yeah.
Myers-Briggs. We had a system called Insights, and you might be familiar with it, Charlie, where you get color coded. So there's blue,
Mm.
green, like red and yellow. And it started to really put people within into a box in corporate. It was very toxic. No one wanted to be green because you weren't a great leader if you were green. You were too kind and nice.
Yeah.
And nobody, of course, wants nice people in corporate. And then the blue was kind of very detailed people. So it's normally people in accounts or IT that were blue. So the innovators were yellow and the leaders were red.
Leaders were red.
So everyone wanted to be a red, everyone wanted to be a leader. And I remember I was a yellow and I was a strong yellow all the way through. And I remember my boss, I reported into one of the directors, board directors, and she said, if you want to come and sit on that board, you need to be red, not yellow, right? So I went and did another test. I was due on, and I knew exactly the questions that I needed to answer. And I came out as a red, and it was like, oh my goodness, it's so amazing. You're a red.
Mm.
And then, of course, I had to live up to my redness. But you can't cheat on human design because it's your birthday, which is so fabulous. And which is why I definitely would have brought it in. If I'd have known about human design, I would have brought it into the business. So that brings me round to what we were talking about when I introduced you. So this feeling that we need to be a certain person in order to be a leader, be
Mhm.
respected, be credible. and that we can't bring in any quirks, any weirdness, any of our wonderfulness. First of all, why do you think that is? Like, where does that conditioning come? And then we talk a lot about deconditioning in human
Mhm.
design. So, how can you decondition from that and start to incorporate that weirdness into your life or your business or your career?
So I just think that conditioning is all around us, right? Even astrology, human design, it's a conditioning tool, right? So I could potentially be conditioned by human design, thinking that this is like a really big part of me. So first of all, you take it as it's very subjective and you can take it or leave it. You don't have to necessarily follow it. It's not doctrine, it's not the Bible. And it's just a guidance system. But I think we are very conditioned by everything around us. When we first go to school, when we're first sort of getting into the media or social media, etc., everything around us is conditioning us. We think that we want certain things. And I think a lot of people think that they want millions. A lot of people think that they want to live in Thailand or Bali or somewhere exotic. And actually, at the end of the day, a lot of people, if you really sit down and you have a really big think about what it is you want in life, sometimes it's not about living in Bali. Sometimes it's not about having, I don't know, a 10 million pound business. And this is where the human design system can really come in because you can start just making micro decisions every day to just align yourself to your true self. And with that becomes a lot of flow, a lot of ease, a lot of happiness. And that resistance that we feel that I should be doing this or I should be doing that, but I can't. And you start procrastinating and all this sort of stuff. That just fades and you just go with the flow and you go with your intuition and things just happen for you. And if you're thinking, well, you can't make money from that, Charlie, well, actually, I'm proof that you can. Because the more I get out there on social media specifically and go, hey, I'm here, jazz hands, woohoo, look at me, the less I get. Because that's not my design. A little bit of a story here from me. I've always been in marketing. And occasionally throughout my career, I have this thing. It's called the ego mind. It comes in and it says, Charlie, are you really any good at marketing? Is this really what you're supposed to be doing? Is this my life's purpose? What should I be doing? And you get these questions in yourself. So you start looking at potentially other careers or like a business opportunity, etc. And then you're just a little bit unsure sometimes of who you are or what you're supposed to be doing. And with human design, it gives you that stability. So when you know that you're good at something, so for me, marketing, and then you read your human design chart or you get it read by an expert, it just gives you this acceptance in yourself and it just stops that ego mind coming in. So for me personally, I've got a channel in my body graph that is literally the channel of PR and marketing. And I no longer have to sit there talking to my ego mind about whether I should be doing marketing or not. Because it's just me, it's just inherently me, it's just a natural thing that I do. And yeah, it just really helps with stability and acceptance. That's the main word that I get from people is like they have a quirk, they have a weirdness, they have something strange that they do, and they just feel this great big sense of acceptance when they use human design.
Yeah. You were talking there about putting ourselves into boxes, and I've heard that before about human design. It's like, okay, well, you're talking about it as a freedom tool, but then potentially you could put yourself into a box. And I agree with you. It's about applying it and taking the things that you really resonate with. And it's not designed to put you in a box. It's designed to give you ultimate freedom. But the only way that you're going to be able to figure that out is to experiment with it, right? And just start to do things slightly just do things in a different way and just see how it shows up for you. And for me, I mean, I discovered human design back in 2017. I didn't really take it seriously until a few years later. And when I really started to experiment with that's when things started to shift and
Yeah.
change in my life. So I would just encourage anyone. Of course, we're two fangirls here of human design. So, of course, we're going to say this, but I just think any tool that can really help us learn more about ourselves, we're a good subject to learn about, right? I want to learn more about myself because if I get insights into myself, then I know that not only can I run my business in a different way and serve my clients in a better way, but I can also bring in more bliss and pleasure into my life. And ultimately,
Yeah.
that's what it's about, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we just want easy life sometimes because a lot of us has been through a lot of different or horrible or not so nice things in our lives, and we just want ease and flow sometimes. And it's totally achievable through human design.
Where do you think is a really good starting point for anyone to find out about their human design? Like, where would you start?
Probably not with AI, if I'm honest with you.
No.
ChatGPT has been a wonder in my business for sure. But if you want to find out about your human design, don't ask ChatGPT. I mean, it can help you kind of understand it a little bit. But the thing is with human design is that it's not necessarily about that learning. It's not about the intellect that you take it in with your brain. The human design system is actually about embodying. It's about embodiment. It's about connecting to your body and really understanding it. And the human design system can help you to do that, which is why ChatGPT is not going to be helping you anytime soon with that. So, really, the best starting point actually is to learn about it, right? So, the way I did it was I literally just absorbed whatever I could in terms of like podcasts, books, etc. Unfortunately, in 2020, there wasn't actually that much out there. There were just a few podcasts, and I just learned, and I went down the rabbit hole. I'm a first line. If anybody listening to this knows human design already, I'm a first line projector. So you can kind of understand that I really went deep on it. And yeah, it's just about the cerebral learning. But more than anything, when you learn something that you just don't understand, it's not about pulling away from it. It's just about surrendering to the fact that will eventually be embodied. That part of you, you will eventually come to conscious awareness that has been embodied. And that embodiment piece is definitely like the key, really. It's the somatic practices, the understanding, I mean, I use the Akashic records as well to sort of really start to embody everything that I learn about myself through the human design system. So,
I love that. It's so complementary to other systems. So, you know what I do. I really love Gene Keys as well, because that takes my understanding of the way that the keys that are inside it, right? The keys to unlock and
keys to
the way that
unlock. Yeah, I
I'm
love that.
programmed. But also, like I love Kundalini yoga and EFT. And here's the thing. When you can really understand and uncover your blind spots, which I believe that human design does, it really, you were talking about the ego mind. The ego does not want us to find out what's blocking us, right? Part of the ego's job is to protect us from danger. So if it perceives that something's dangerous, like it's scary, like you're pushing yourself out your comfort zone, your ego mind will try whatever it does to protect you from it and talk you out of it. So it doesn't want to be discovered. It's sneaky. What human design does is it uncovers the blocks. So it helps you discover your blind spots. And then I love to then tap on it. So you discover your blind spots, your blocks, your limiting beliefs, and then you can tap on it. So all these wonderful, like complementary things that you can incorporate goes quite nicely with human design. And human design is made up of lots of different elements, isn't it? Do you want to kind of just share what the different elements are? Because I find it fascinating.
Yeah, so the human design system is actually made up of not just science, but also sort of esoteric spiritual systems as well, but they are ancient systems. So astrology is one. And how many years has astrology been around in humanity? Quite a few. It's also created from the Hindu chakra system. We have the Chinese I Ching, the Jewish Kabbalah tree of life, and all of these systems together, they create this like incredible, not only a map of our energy and like a blueprint of who we are and our purpose, but it's also just like a system by which we can kind of understand, yes, this is me now, but also this is who I could be if I was to remove my ego mind from it. And I really love, bringing all of these things together because they have their own place in the world. And unfortunately, this is why it is so complex to learn the human design system. But from my perspective, totally worth it. Totally worth all the hours I put in.
When I introduced you, I said that you were intuitive yet practical. And this is another reason that I really love human design because it speaks to both sides of our brain, right? So it brings in the mystical wisdom but it also gives you like tangible, practical steps. And it also speaks to the science. And I love it. It's like the two worlds coming together really beautifully.
Yeah.
We're very excited to have you come and speak on the Women Thrive stage, Charlie. What is your talk going to be about? I'd love to know.
So my talk is going to be about being weird and wonderful. And I'm going to be telling you about the origins of the word weird and how actually it is very, very empowering. It's not as strange and awkward as we think about it in our society today. And really, how the human design system can uncover the weirdness, the quirks, and sort of really help you to be yourself. Because the more you are yourself in business, the more you will attract the perfect, amazing dream people that you want to attract in your business, like collaborations and clients. And the more you will actually push other people away. And actually, that's what we want to do in business. Nobody got to being an eight-figure business owner by just being loved and liked by everyone. They got there because of, well, one, astrology, because they have a business astrologer on their books, and two, they're weird, they're unique, they brought something different into the world, and your difference is you. So when you step up into that very weird uniqueness and you stand strong, you stand really proud in who you are and how you show up, that's when your business grows. So I'm here to help you to be weird and unique. So I hope you're going to join me on the Women Thrive stage.
We can't wait. What's your weirdness, Charlie?
What's my
that you
weirdness?
that you've embraced?
I can't really pinpoint it, but I've always known that like I open my mouth sometimes and people just look at me like, what? And sometimes it's like jaw dropping because I've said something really quite amazing and insightful, and other times it's like, I don't get what you just said, Charlie. To me, it's the most normal thing in the world that I've just said, and yet to other people, I can just see their faces and they're like, what? That's my weirdness, is saying things that I see and yeah, just standing strong in, yeah, I am weird. I'm quite differently psychic as well. I can see into
Yeah.
the future, as in, like, I know what's going to happen, especially when it is in mainstream media as well. I can see what's going to happen to certain people. And I just know.
Oh, that's so your projector energy coming through. That's so cool. Your perception and insights. Charlie, it's been absolutely amazing having you today on the Women Thrive podcast. Where can people find you if they want to go and stalk you and find out more about you?
So, my website is always there for you to have a mooch around. So that's charliegarnham.com. I do love YouTube specifically. So I do have a YouTube channel and a podcast called Simple Human Design. And I'm actually going to be rebranding it soon, but it will still be on the same channel. So come and subscribe. I do have social media accounts. I don't use them that often though, because like I said, I do get invitations to work with me through non-social media sort of ways. But you can find me on Instagram at the Charlie Garnham. And I also hang out on my Facebook account as well. So come and join me over there and we can have a bit of a chat about how amazing human design is.
Wonderful. Thanks, Charlie. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you so much, Abby. It's been amazing. Love talking human design with you.
And thank you so much, everyone, for watching and listening. Be sure to go and check out Charlie, follow her, interact with her, invite her in. She's a projector. She needs to be invited into things. And also, we'll be really interested to find out what your human design type is. So if you go ahead and either go onto Charlie's website, or there's lots of different sites out there where you can just get it for free. It's all, this is all accessible, by the way. You can find out your human design for free on Charlie's website, on any other website. Then please let us know what you are. We'd love to know. Comment below, reach out to Charlie, reach out to us here at Women Thrive Media. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you today, and we will see you on the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Women Thrive podcast. If you found today's episode empowering and inspiring, be sure to subscribe and follow us. Better yet, leave a review and share it with others. We're committed to bringing you more stories that will empower and inspire you on your own journey. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep pursuing your dreams.